Alright, dear Olga Kay, thank you for coming out to Center City Mall.
Thank you for having me.
You little shopaholic.
I'm a shopaholic. Okay, I have a lot of channels. I shop all the time for them, okay? And so yeah, doing an interview and shop and do my work at the same time.
As long as I can borrow a dress sometime. Yeah, because you do have the best ones. Honestly.
Thank you, you can.
Betsy Johnson, man.
Yep.
Okay, so let's just start by talking just a little bit. I mean, I know a lot about your background, but I think it's really fascinating and it's kind of offers people insight into how you started your channel. So just tell us like where you're from and how you ended up here in LA.
Alright, so I came from Russia. I was born in Russia. I lived there for 14 years. When I was 16 years old, I came to America with the circus. So in Russia, I traveled with the circus a little bit. So at 16, I came here to travel with Ringling Brothers, and I went all over America, and it was amazing. And once the circus time kind of like stopped for me, I was looking for a new career, and I didn't know what to find. So I put all of my juggling videos online, trying to see what would happen, discovered this huge community on YouTube, and I started doing vlogging. I didn't know how to use cameras, how to edit, how to talk to people through the camera. It was like really bizarre. But I started doing it because I believe that it's going to grow into something amazing. So that's how I started my YouTube.
The whole self-taught process, like, was that difficult? How long did that take?
Yeah,
for you
okay,
to learn how to do all of it?
I always say that I'm still learning, right? Because you always learn all these new steps. It was a slow process. It took me at least good 6 months to get used to the camera and how to edit a proper way. And even now, if I look back at my videos 6 years ago, I'm going, oh my god, what was I doing? Why was I so amateur? But at the same time, I would not do it any other way. I've learned everything myself. I've discovered my voice on YouTube because of all of those, I guess, mistakes that I've done throughout, 7 years. So it takes forever, but you're so independent. You do everything yourself. So as a woman like myself, who is kind of a control freak, I'm in charge of everything that goes out there. So I can only blame myself.
I know you know how to light, you know how to edit. What do you edit on? Final Cut?
Final Cut and iMovie.
Final Cut and iMovie. You write.
Yes.
You sing now. You've been singing lately and rapping.
Yeah, a little bit.
I love it. I love it. We still do a music video together.
I juggle, right? Yeah.
Juggle. She's an amazing girl.
I do lots of yoga. I do lots of flexibility videos.
Comedy.
What?
Comedy?
Comedy.
You know how to work a camera?
Yes. I know how to direct people, which is also important when you make YouTube videos, because a lot of people on YouTube, they don't understand the structure a lot of the times. They just want to be themselves and improv, and you have to be able to put them in the same room and get them to do exactly what you want them to do.
So now you didn't go to a traditional college, right? You didn't have a traditional education.
No.
So your education has been what? Google?
Just
Googling how to do stuff?
Absolutely. Googling and watching other people do it and kind of try to figure out by myself, by playing. Honestly, 12 hours a day in front of my computer is how I've learned.
Now, what would you say drives you week after week after week? And we talk about this all the time as friends. Like, yeah, it's hard, it's stressful. So what would you say is like the main reason why you do it, or why you get up and feel that you still have to make a video?
I think it's my upbringings and my family. I grew up in Russia with no opportunities, with no exact direction of where I'm gonna go. And I was always really poor. So coming to America and discovering this new medium where I can actually make money and do what I love and be independent, that's what drives me. Because every time I go back to Russia, I don't even know what I would be doing with my life. So in America, I can do this. So the opportunity of this country, and also my family, I can actually help them by making money on YouTube. So that's what drives me every day. The more I work, the more money I make, and the faster maybe I can buy a house for them in Russia. So honestly, that's my drive. There's nothing else.
And your mom came out last year for the first time ever.
Yes.
And she speaks only Russian.
Yes, which is difficult. I realize that it's really difficult. Okay.
What does she think of? What does she think of all your YouTube videos?
Funny. I'm glad you asked me that, because she watches them all the time, right? But she speaks no English. So she always tells me how I should record something in Russian so she can understand it, but at the same time she watches it anyways, and she reads my body language, and she would call me and say, I think in that video you were talking about this, this, and that, and I think you were maybe dating that guy now. What's going on there? And I'm like, no, he's just a friend, but I know I'm very flirtatious in my videos. So she loves it. At first she didn't understand it, how you can make a living, but once I started sending money back home, she was like, oh, so I guess it works.
That's very
So yeah, she definitely approves it.
Does she know how vulgar her little daughter is?
Yes! There's one thing she understands is bad words like fuck and shit, and she's like, Olga, you're such a pretty girl, could you please not say those bad words on camera? I mean, so many people watch you. I'm like, no mom, that's part of my personality. I just say it because it's funny. But yeah, so she corrects me. And I'm like, Mom, do you know how old I am? Like, you don't have to raise me. I got it.
So now here's a philosophical question for you. Do you see yourself more as an artist or more as a businesswoman? Which one, if you had to sort of gauge the importance of them? Like,
what a fine line. Oh my gosh. Definitely a businesswoman. When I started, I considered myself somebody who wanted to express themselves. But the more I do it, I'm realizing I'm a businesswoman. I'm not just an artist who is trying to, you know, get my voice out there. It's a business, and it's a hard one. There's a lot you have to understand about it. And I think that's the reason why I have been relevant in the community for the last 7 years. Because I've seen so many people go and leave, and they're amazing artists, but if they don't have a business sense, they can't sustain their business. It's a business. Unfortunately,
Good
it's
girl.
a business, yeah. So definitely businesswoman, but because I'm running a business, my creative side suffers because it also takes so much concentration to be creative. And if you're running a business, it's a fine balance.
I think you're pretty 50-50, but I agree with you. I mean, especially in this space, most artists can't be business people.
Exactly.
They don't have that like piece in them.